Hi guys, we're back to continue explaining wave interference. And as I stated in the last video, where we were explaining it using a simulation, I'm going to open up the actual concept builder that you have to do on this topic. Pay attention to the directions. You only need to do the first two levels. I'm going to do one as an example out of each level. So the first one is called to construct or destruct. Get started on it here. And all we need to do in this level is decide if there's constructive or destructive interference at along the vertical positions of A, B, C here, points A, B, C, and D. And we're just have to click down here which ones are constructive and which are destructive. Now, if you watch my last video, this should be pretty simple. But let's go along line A right here. So the arrow is pointing right along vertically through here. So our two waves appearing are a red wave and a blue wave. So we could see the red wave is in a crest position at the moment it passes over a blue wave in a trough position. This black line represents the rest line, so anything above the crest, anything below it, the trough. As we did in the last video, when a crest or part of a crest passes over a trough or part of a trough, then destructive interference occurs. That means at the moment, those two amplitudes would destruct to become a smaller total amplitude of any of the two. We'll worry about the subtraction thing more in the next level. At position B, we could see the red wave is in a crest position and the blue wave is in a crest position. Therefore, we have constructive interference at that position. Going on C, we again, like part A, just looked around. The blue wave is in a crest position. The red trough position. Crest passing over a trough is going to destruct. So position C is destructive. D, we could see both red and blue are in a trough position. A trough, like parts, will create constructive interference. So D is destructive. And E, we have red in a crest position, blue trough, that forms destructive. So we check our answer and we're good. If you could do that, you should be able to get all the other ones yourself. So I'm going to go back to the main menu and go on to an example from the second level, which we're going to have to do the same as we did in that first level, but also include the basic math with it. So let's check out this one. Read the instruction as always carefully. We have two waves, red and blue. They're going interference at the defined positions A, B, and C. For the three labeled locations, determine the nearest estimate of the resulting displacement of the medium. And note, this is important, each square 0.1 meters along its edges, 0.1, not 1, okay? So position A, this last level, we look and see there's a crest here and a trough here, and destructive interference will occur. And what's most important in answering now at this position is the exact new amplitude of the resulting wave from the interference at these positions. So the red amplitude is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, positive 5 units from the black rest line, that amplitude. And the blue one, since the trough, is negative 1. We just total those up. 5 plus negative 1 is positive 4. And what we used there was the principle of superposition. Remember back in the notes on the last video, the definition of the principle of superposition sounded really ugly, like it was complicated. Sometimes the math is way more simple than a wordy definition, and this is a good example of it. So reading the principle of superposition, sometimes I was like, wow, that seems difficult, but it's really not. It just really means doing what we just did right there, that answer. So it's pretty simple. Let's go to position B. We can see the blue wave as an amplitude of positive 0.1, and the red wave along that line is negative 0.5 if we count all the boxes. Positive 0.1 plus negative 0.5 is negative 0.4. Oops, I passed it up there. Find the right one you want, and that one's good. We'll check all three in a moment. And at position C, now be careful here, because notice at position C, excuse me, it's not exactly on a line. So it goes straight up from the arrowhead, which would be right about here. So the blue wave has a positive 0.1, and the red has a positive 0.3 from the red position. Passing over a crest, that's constructive. They add together and would construct to a bigger interference pattern at that position. So 3 plus 1 is positive 0.4. And before I check, I just want to point out that the only other case you could have on here is, which on this particular problem, this particular question, is a trough over a trough. You would do the similar thing that we did to position C, but you would add two negatives because they would be below the rest line. So no big deal. All those are just using basic addition of positive and or negative numbers to create what you would get through interference at those positions. So we're going to check the answers, and we're good. By the way, we got them right there. So if we hit continue, it'll just go to the next one. If you get some right and not others right, we'll let you have another chance. Let me do that. For example, here, I'm going to get one right and one wrong on purpose here. Okay. So here's the one I'll do. Let's see, a position A. Let's do this right, and then I'm just going to pick something random for the other ones just to show you what happens. So at position A, we have 0.1 for the blue wave and 0.3 for the red and crest positions. So that will be positive 0.4. Now the other ones, I'm going to put a random answer and check answers. So you'll get a little note here that explains this as well. I'm going to point out. So you get a second chance basically, and it will put a green check mark over any that you got right, and obviously any that have a green check mark, you'll have to fix. But you only truly get one extra try without being penalized. So I'm going to purposely get those ones wrong again, and you'll see the ODRAT sign, and you'll notice that one is in red. So checking all other concept builders, once one is in red, you'll eventually have to come back to it and redo it. But that's pretty easy to figure out. So I'm going to allow you guys now to go and finish these concept builders on your own. Hopefully it'll be pretty easy after seeing these examples.